Hey everyone, this is my season review for West Bromwich Albion, season 2011-2012. I think it's fair to say it's been another great season for us, just like last season. It's going to be our third successive season in the Premier League. Also, we finished comfortably mid-table again. We finished way off the relegation zone. Finishing the top team in the Midlands. It's an absolutely amazing achievement. It's something that I've wanted us to do all my life since supporting Albion, and I've been going down the Albion since the 95-96 season, so it's been a long time coming, this has. The squad we've got, I think it's the best squad we've had since the late 1970s. We've managed to get ourselves some real bargains this season as well, like we always seem to do, actually. Signing Ben Foster on loan for the season off Blues, that was an amazing signing. Gareth McAuley coming in from Ipswich, it was around £500,000 he came in, wasn't it? I don't know the exact figure. We got Billy Jones on a free from Preston. How well's he done right back to his first season in the Premier League? He's just so amazing. Shane Long come in. It's initially 4.5 million, but it will rise to 6.5 million on clauses in the contract and everything. And also we re-signed the fan favourite Zoltan Gear, of course. Fortunately, he's had bad luck with injuries. Hasn't managed to play for us this much this season. Liam Riggeweel, of course, joined in January from Blues. For an undisclosed fee, he's done well. Keith Andrews come in on a free transfer too. Just as important, we've managed to keep the players we had last season, like Yusuf Malumbu signed a new contract. We managed to keep hold of Peter Odemwingie and Jonas Olsson. Olsson's actually my favourite player, so I'm really glad we kept him. So the season itself, when I first looked at the fixtures, like I'm sure all Albion fans did, oh dear, here we go, first three games, we got the champions at home, Manchester United. We got the runners-up, Chelsea, away. And then third game, we got our bogey team, Stoke. Looking at it, I was thinking, well, that's probably 3 defeats straight away. And sure enough, it was 3 defeats. Although I wasn't surprised we lost all 3. It's the way we lost them, which was it was hard to take, because we was in all 3 games, and it looked like we was going to get at least a point, and all 3 of them we were goals conceded in the last 5 minutes, and you're left sort of thinking, man, we get anything from that, especially Stoke. That was an absolute nightmare, that goal we conceded. So at the end of August, after those 3 games, we found ourselves third from bottom in the table, having lost all 3. The quite hilarious things, funny looking back now, was Wolves in 5th place after 3 games played, and all the fans are like, we're going to go in Europe and all that, and it's quite funny looking back now. Well, the main thing is we did pick ourselves back up. We managed to beat Norwich 1-0 away. But it was another fairly miserable month, really. We knocked out the Carling Cup by Everton. 4 points from 6 games played. So, at the end of September, we found ourselves sitting second from bottom in the table. But I'm pleased to say, October was a really good month for us. We picked up 7 points from 4 games. Including a victory at home to our rivals Wolves. We beat them 2-0. And also, we beat Aston Villa away. Beat them away for the first time since 1979, the 2-1 victory. So the end of October, things were looking much better for us. We climbed up to 13th place in the table on 11 points. November saw us play 3 games. We faced both North London clubs, Spurs and Arsenal. Sandwiched in between that was a home game against Bolton. We picked up 3 points from the 3 games. That was a 2-1 victory at home to Bolton. Fortunately, we lost to Arsenal and Spurs, but they're really good teams. I was expecting 2 defeats anyway. We especially against Spurs, we played really, really well. Actually, we was really unlucky to lose that one. So at the end of November, we remained in 13th place on 14 points from 13 games. 5 points off the relegation zone. However, we'd already played, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, and our bogey team Stoke. So it was kind of expected us to be around there. We'd already had a lot of the difficult games out the way. So on to December. December's proved to be a really good month for us. We picked up 7 points from 5 games. The only downside of the month really was the shocking performance result home to Wigan. We lost 2-1. But however, we did enjoy 2 impressive victories. 2-1 away to Blackburn and 3-2 away to Newcastle. You look what Newcastle have done, and we beat them 3-2 away. So we ended December's fixtures at home, top of the table Manchester City on Boxing Day. We played really, really well. We managed to get a 0-0 draw. We could have easily won it. So December was a really good month. At the end of December, we saw ourselves in 8th place in the table. We played 19. We were on 22 points, 8 points off the relegation zone, but only 8 points off 7th. So we was doing really well up to this point. We thought, after December, thinking, we could go for a top 7 spot here, the way we played. January, we started New Year's Day, 12:30 kick-off. Why people? They decided 12:30 kick-off on New Year's Day when everyone was, really bad hangovers, myself included, and it was a really disappointing game. Probably one of the dullest games I've ever been to in my life. Everton at home, we lost 1-0. It was just really dull. It was an awful goal we conceded. It was absolutely appalling. But we went to Stoke City, our bogey team, and we managed to win 2-1. We played really well. I actually watched the whole of that game online. We dominated the game, 1-0 up, with so many chances to get number 2, and then Cameron Jerome equalised, thinking, oh no, not again, Stoke every time. But fortunately, we got a free kick, Graham Dorrans smashed it in. It's a fantastic victory over Stoke. So the table at the end of January saw us in 15th place on 25 points from 22 games. 7 points ahead of the relegation zone. We was, however, just 5 points off 8th place. February for me was the most interesting month for the season. We started off with a brilliant result away to Fulham, to draw 1-1. I mean, to go to Craven Cottage and get a draw at Fulham is an absolutely brilliant result for anyone. Very good result. And next we faced Swansea. Now this for me was probably the most disappointing game of the season I went to. Not just because we lost, it was the weather conditions, and also we kept losing all these games 2-1 at home and not playing well, and I was, for the first and only time this season, after the Swansea game, was when I actually thought, you know what, we're going to go down this season. I really felt everything was going against us. We lost 2-1 to them. Really didn't play well. We went 1-0 up, but then we just collapsed. Swansea equalised 50 seconds after we took the lead, straight from the kick-off, and then just 4 minutes later they went 2-1 up, and that was it. Such a disappointing game. But what was the game we played next? It was, of course, the 5-1 away to Wolves. Really great game to watch as a fan, obviously. We absolutely battered them. I mean, first half, we could have been 3-0 up. As it is, we only scored 1 goal, and then Wolves go and equalise with their only shot on target in the second half. And you're thinking, oh, God, I don't believe this. Why does this keep happening to us? It seemed we just... But second half, it was 50-50 for a while, but as soon as we went 2-1 up, I think that was it. I think Wolves only had 1 chance after that, and then we just battered them, and 5-1, fully deserved it. It could have been 10 if it hadn't been for Hennessy, the keeper. And of course, pretty much straight after that game, Mick McCarthy was sacked by Wolves, and it didn't really turn out to be too good of a decision from them in the end, did it? And then the final game of February, of course, we was at home to Sunderland, and we beat them 4-0. From what I've seen, it was a great game. That's the only game I've missed from Albion in the last 4 years. I actually had a gig I had to go to see. I seen Ramstein on the same day, so I unfortunately missed that game. But my brother went, so we played really well. Obviously, I seen match of the day on the internet, and really good. So February I did brilliantly. So the table at the end of February, we was in 12th place on 32 points from 26 games played. We were now 11 points above the relegation zone, and we were just 7 points off 7th spot. So looking very comfortable. March was a decent month as well. Started off, we beat Chelsea 1-0 at home. Of course, it proved to be Andre Villas-Boas' last game in charge of Chelsea. He got the sack after we beat them. We played really well, fully deserved the victory. But also the month saw us playing the teams that are really in form, like Wigan, Newcastle, Man United and Everton. They were all in really good form in that month. We took 4 points from the 5 games, left us 14th place on 36 points from 31 played. 8 points off the relegation zone now, and we're still just 7 points off 7th place though, and we played a lot of teams in form in that month, so that was a really good effort. April, that would prove to be a really good month for us, although we lost 4-0 away to Manchester City, you know, the champions. Well, they would be the champions. They were in really good form at the time, obviously chasing United. And we had a lot of players out for that game, actually. We did have a lot of players out. We enjoyed a 3-0 victory at home to Blackburn, you know, really good performance. 1-0 at home to QPR, we did well. I think we was hanging on a little bit at times, but, you know, defended well. And Ben Foster, obviously, has been brilliant for us. And our first win away to Liverpool since 1967, since Jeff Astle scored the goal. So we beat them 1-0, Peter Odemwingie in the 75th minute. That was a really good feeling as a fan. I think it was really good for Roy Hodgson getting some revenge, you know. Although Liverpool have had a disappointing season, it's still a really big victory for us, that is. I'm really glad we beat Liverpool away. That's something I'll be looking forward to for a long time as an Albion fan, you know, beating one of the big boys, and me being a fan since, you know, the mid-1990s when we was a team avoiding relegation from the old Nationwide League First Division, you know, to see where we are now. The table at the end of April, you know, it guaranteed us safety, you know. We were in 10th place on 46 points from 36 games. It also guaranteed that we'd be the top team in the Midlands for the first time in God knows how long, you know. And that's something I've really wanted us to do for my whole life, really, you know. Going into the final for the season in May, you know, it saw us with just 2 remaining games. That was Bolton away and Arsenal at home. We managed to come from 2-0 down away to Bolton to get a 2-2 draw with just 15 minutes left. Great display. I think if there'd have been an extra 5 minutes or so, we probably could have actually gone on to win the game. Arsenal at home, it's such a shame. We actually played really, really well. Let's face it, it's harsh to say, but if Martin Fulop had not been in goal and Ben Foster or even Luke Daniels had been in goal, not only would we at least got a draw, we would have won that game. As it is, we lost 3-2. Martin Fulop, oh my God, all 3 goals. What was he doing? Especially the first goal and the third goal. It's just a nightmare. It was like we should have at least got a draw. It was sad end, really. I mean, it was good, great finish, you know, 10th place on 47 points, actually the exact same amount of points we had last season. But, you know, it's sad, you know, it's Roy Hodgson's last game in charge. A really nice speech he made at the end. Also, you know, it's Paul Sharner's last game for us. His contract isn't being renewed. So there's 2 people I'm really going to miss down the club. But as I said earlier, it's been an amazing season, you know. So many players have done really well. I mean, look how well Ben Foster's done in goal. I really hope we can sign him from Blues on a permanent now. I'm a bit worried that Spurs have come in for him, you know, and I think the Blues are after around £8 million. I don't know if Albion spend that sort of money, really. Billy Jones and Gareth McAuley have both had amazing first seasons in the Premier League, you know. I think Gareth McAuley and Jonas Olsson, I think they're our best 2 central defensive partnership in a long, long time, you know, since Phil Gilchrist and Darren Moore, really. Under Gary Megson, that was a really good partnership. I think this could be even better, you know, because these 2 are actually doing it in the Premier League. Defence has always been the problem with us in the Premier League, you know, but now we've really sorted the defence out. And we've got a nice balance at the club now. I mean, finishing mid-table, absolutely amazing achievement. You know, and I hope that Shane Long isn't as unlucky with injuries as he's been, you know. Obviously, there was that horrific challenge by Alan Hutton on him in the Villa game. I mean, how? He didn't even get booked for it, Alan Hutton, you know. Absolutely shocking challenge. But, you know, he scored against Arsenal. He scored a few goals, so hopefully he won't be as unlucky with injuries and can score a few for us. Him and Odemwingie up front with Fortune as well, doing really well. Anyway, that's my season review of the Baggies. Do you agree, disagree with my thoughts? You know, who's been your player of the season? What was your match of the season? And thank you very much for listening.